everyone, I am very thrilled to announce the launch of our new brand series, which is dedicated to advanced JavaScript topics and designed to supercharge your interview preparations. And I'm really sorry for the gap between videos, guys, but now I'm committed to being consistent from now on, and I promise you will learn a lot from this series. So please show some love and support for this video. More videos are on the way soon. So, our new video series kicks off with a topic that might have confused you before, right? So, what are those topics? Those topics are this keyword, call, apply, and bind methods in JavaScript. By the end of this video, I promise you will fully understand these concepts. You won't need to search for more explanations anywhere else. So, without any further ado, let's get started on this learning journey together. It is going to be a breeze, guys. So, I'm going to cover these two topics in today's video. What I have done so far, I have created one folder here, JavaScript interview series. Right inside that, I have created one more folder, day one. So, I have already opened that folder in my Visual Studio Code, and you can see I have already written these two topics here. So first topic is going to be everything about this keyword. You might have heard about this keyword before, but what I'm going to teach you in today's video, that is going to be a very advanced things, right? You will know each and everything about this keyword from today, and you will know when to use this keyword, what are the different use cases of it, right? How the value of this keyword is determined. Once the concept of this keyword is clear to you, then I'll jump to my second topic, which is about call, bind, and apply. You again might have heard about call, bind, and apply in JavaScript, but what I'm going to teach you is going to be completely different, right? Because I'm going to teach you the use cases of call, bind, and apply methods. So let's begin this journey, guys. So let's start with JavaScript first. So what I'm going to do here, I'll simply create one index.html file. I'll simply generate some boilerplate. I'll save it. I'll create one file. So let's say I'll create index.js, right? And then what I'll do, I'll simply link my index.js inside my index.html. So this is how we link external JavaScript file in our HTML. So you can see, let me test it. I'll simply write a console.log here and I'll say hi. Then I'll run this file. I'll open it with a live server. Let me check my console, and you can see it is printing hi here. So everything is working fine. Now let's begin with this keyword. So first, let me give you a definition, then I'll explain you about the working of this keyword, how it works, what are the values of this keyword, and then again we can recap everything. So basically, guys, this is a special keyword that refers to the current execution context. Okay, and its value depends on how and where the function is called. The value of this is determined by many factors, right? So what are those factors? So first we are going to learn about all the factors, then we'll create our own definition, right? So we have many factors like global context. What would be the value of this keyword in global context? Then we have function context. Okay, inside function context, what we are going to learn is inside a regular function, what would be the value of this. Then inside a method, right, what would be the value of this. Then we would see constructor function. Okay, and then at the end we will see what would be the value of this keyword inside event handlers. Okay, so these are the things we are going to cover. So let me start with the global context. Right, so if I'll simply say the console.log and I'll simply say this, so what would be the value of this? So by default in global context, the value of this is window always, right? The window objects. So let me check. Yeah, you can see we are getting the whole window object, right? We have alert, blur, and each and every function, clear timeout, clear fetch, find, focus, right? So that means in global context, the value of this is same the window object. And if I'll say if this is triple equal to window object, so it will print true, because in global context this refers to a window object always. You can see it is printing true here. Okay, so whenever any interviewer will ask you a question, what is the value of this keyword in global context, you will say it refers to a window object. Then what about function context? So in function context, so basically if a function is called as a regular function, means it is not as a method. Like what is method? Method is in a function inside object, right? So it refers to a global object again, right? So if I say I have a function hello and I say console.log and I say this, right? So it will print window object again. Let me call this function, it will print window object again, right? But inside a function we can always change the context of this. That I'll tell you later how we can change the context of this. But right now the only thing you need to remember is inside inside function context the default value of this is window object again, right? Then what we have, yeah, this is the regular function again, like function context, and inside function context we have learned the regular context. Okay, let me comment it. Then method. So what is method? So let's say we have an object, right? We have an object, and where I simply have a name like camel coder, okay, and then I have a function method. Like whenever we have a function inside an object, it is called as a method. And then let me print the value of this here. So see, the value of this is determined at runtime. Like how do we call this function? So generally, what we do object dot print name, right? This is how we call a function because print name is a function. So value of this is going to be who is calling that function, basically, right? So when a function is called as a method of an object, so this basically refers to the object that contains the method. Do you understand? Like I'm calling this print name, right? Who is calling that print name? Object. So what, like whatever is before the dot notation here, whatever is before this dot notation, that is going to be the value of this keyword here. Okay, let's see. Is it going to, that means it is going to print this object here, means that is going to print name. So you can see it is going to print name and print name function we have. So whatever is before the dot notation, that is going to be a value of this inside a method, right? So how do we access this name here? Because we already know, right, this refers to the same object. So if I say this dot name, so I can access the name here, camel coder, right? So it determined at runtime. Let me show you one more example of constructor function. So what is a constructor function? So let's say I have a one constructor function hello. So whenever we create a construction function, right, so the first keyword of the name of the function is always be capitalized, right? That is a convention again. And then let me print a console.log. Let me print a console.log this, and let's see what is the value of this here. So how do we basically invoke a constructor function? We create an instance for it. Okay, so let me create an instance. So let's say I'll say result. Result is the and we create a stance with a new keyword. Okay, and I'll say hello. And now if I'll say console.log result, what would be the value of this? It is going to be a hello object. That means it is going to be something like this, hello object, right? It will create a new object for us. Let's see. You can see we have the hello object, right? So that means if I'll pass a name here like this Mahavir, and if I'll pass the age as a 26, and if I do this dot name is going to be name, and this dot age is going to be age, right? And how we are going to access the name? Like this, we are passing it as argument, right? So then what would be the result here? It is going to be a hello object with these two values, name Mahavir, age 26. You can see we have the hello object with name Mahavir and age 26. So that's how this keyword works in constructor function. Last but not least, this is very very important, guys. So please focus here. Let's say I have a button here, right? Where the ID of button is simply save. Okay, and I am saying click me. So this is very very important, guys. Once you know how this keyword functions in every context, like in global context, function context, event handler, inside the method, war is over. War is over. Seriously, then you will easily understand the call bind and apply method. So okay, let me click on this button and let me attach a event handler to it. Right. So how do we access this button? Const, let's say save button. I'll simply say document dot get element by ID. I'll simply say save, and then let me attach a event handler to it. Add event handler, right? It takes two argument, one the event name which we are going to trigger, and then the callback function. Okay, and if I say console.log this, so then what would be the value of this keyword here? Will it be window object again, or will it be something else? So see, whenever inside, like whenever we attach any event handler, right? So inside event handler, inside event handler functions, right? This is basically event handler functions. This often refers to the DOM element that triggered the event, right? It often refers to the DOM element that triggers the event. So what is the DOM element here? Button. So that means here the value of this is going to, value of this keyword is going to be this DOM element which triggers that particular event, right? Let me check. We have this click me button here. Once I click this, you will see the value of this is again the same DOM element from where the event is triggered. Okay, so I can show you, like if I want to change the background color of it, what I can do, this dot style dot background color, and let me say red. Like once I click that button, the background color should be red, right? What is this? This is the same DOM element, right, from where the event is getting triggered, and we are changing the style. What style we are changing? The background color of it. So let me click it. You can see the background color is changed to red, right? So this is the functioning of this keyword, and if I make it arrow function, then it will not work. Why it will not work? Because if I say console.log this now, so this keyword will refer to a window object again. It will not refer to the DOM element. You can see if I click here, it will refer to the window object again, right? Because inside arrow, like binding of this is not done with the arrow functions. So again, that is a different topic. We can learn it some other time. So right now, we just need to focus here. What we have learned so far, we have learned this keyword, right? So now, what we can, so this keyword is basically a special keyword, right? It's a special keyword in JavaScript. So special keyword in JavaScript that refers to the current execution context, right? That refers to the current execution context, and the value of this is always determined at runtime, right? And value of this keyword is again um, determined by many factors. Like if we are using this keyword At global context, the value of this is going to be window object. Inside regular function, it is again going to be a window object, but it depends like how the functioning of this keyword is working. So let me recommend it again. Oh, sorry, uncomment it again. So if I'll say hello, console log this. So inside regular function, the value of this is what? Window object, right? You can see window object. But we can change the context of this. We can change the context of this. How? So let's say I'll create one object here. I'll not call it here right now, okay? And what I'll do, I'll create one object user, and I'll say name is Mahavir, right? And I'm going to say print date, print name, okay? Print name is going to refer to this hello function, okay? And then I'll invoke print name, and if I'll invoke it, what would be the value of this now? Value of this is going to be whatever is calling that function, right? Whatever is before the dot notation. What is before the dot notation? User, right? So this whole object is going to be the value of this inside this hello function. That's how we change the context of it. You can see, right? And we can access this dot name here. This Mahavir we can access here. So that's how the working of this works. So now I'm going to delete it. This was very very important, guys. Please watch the video again if you have not understood it, because now we are going to move to a very very important topic, which is call, apply, and bind, right? And this is frequently asked question in interview. Like in every interviewer, like I have given many interviews in my life, and most of the time interviewer asks me call, apply, and bind method. Explain the working of each functions, each methods in JavaScript, right? So if I talk about the definition, right, definition is very simple again, right? So call, bind, and apply are three JavaScript methods, right? And it is used to work with the functions and manipulate the context of this again, right? And like it change the context of this keyword. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like whenever, let's say I have this function and I'll say print name, right? It does nothing but simply say console.log and it will say this, right? How do we call a function? That's how we call a function, right? It will print window object. You can see we have one more method to call a function. We can simply say dot call. It will print a window object again. If I say dot apply, it will print a window object again, right? So this is the default way. Like if you are not doing dot call, behind the scene, the function is getting called like this only. Print name dot call, right? So right now we have not binded, we have not changed the context of this keyword. That is why it is a window object again. But if, so let's say now I have a user here, right? When I'm simply saying age is 26, okay? So what is call method here? We are learning about call, right? Call. So call method in JavaScript basically used to change the context of this keyword inside a function, right? So let's see how do we change the context of this keyword here. So it takes arguments, right? The first argument is always going to be the value of this, which we are going to bind with this keyword, right? So let me say, okay, this. Now what I'm saying is earlier the value of this was window object, but now I want to call this function simply print name.call. I want to call this function, but this time I'm going to change the value of this with this user. Okay, so if I save it now, and you can see now we have age 26 here, because this is what we are saying, right? This is what we are saying. We are saying replace this with this. Okay, so now if I try to access age, this dot age, will it work? Yeah, it will work. It will print 26. You can see it will print 26. But if you are not binding anything, if you are not changing the value of this, what it will print? Undefined. We don't have this dot age, right? Because what is the value of this right now? It is window, right? And we don't have age declared anywhere here. But when we change the binding of it with our object, then we can access the age key of that particular object, right? So basically the call method is used to change the binding of this keyword inside a function, right? So let's say, okay, so let's say this is a name, right? Let's say this is a name. Let me give you another example. And name is Mahavi, right? If I try to access it, it will print Mahavi. It is not printing. Why? Something wrong. User dot name. This dot name. Yeah, you can see it is printing now. So, and let's say I I need I want to pass few arguments here. So let's say I want to say age, and then I'll say city, and then I'll say country. Okay, something like this. So how do we pass other arguments in? It always take the comma separated arguments. So let's say age is 26, right? And then city is New Delhi, right? And then country is what? India. And then I want to print this dot name, and then I don't need to do this dot age because age is an argument, right? City and country. So it will print Mahavir 26 New Delhi, India, right? It will print something like this. Apply works same. If I talk about apply, guys, it works similar to call. You can see instead of call, I'll simply make it apply. But the only difference is call takes the argument as a comma separated argument, right? But apply takes only two arguments. First, the binding of this, whatever the context we are going to change, and then the array, array of the arguments, right? It takes the comma separated argument, it takes the argument as an array, right? And it will behave the same. If I'll say 20 here, and instead of New Delhi, let me do it Uttarakhand, right? So you can see this is coming from call method, Mahavir 26 New Delhi, India. This is coming from apply method, Mahavir 26 Uttarakhand, India. You can see Uttarakhand is written inside the apply method, right? So you understand, right? Both are used to change the binding of this keyword, right? And if anyone asks you what is the difference between call and apply, there is only one difference. Call takes comma separated arguments, okay, and apply takes array of an argument, right? It takes only two arguments, the binding of this and the array of an argument, okay. Then what is bind? Where do we use bind? Okay, again, bind works similar to call, right? It takes the comma separated argument, it takes the user. Let me do it 45, and let me say MP, uh, UK, randomly I'm changing anything, okay. And instead of call, I'll do bind. Will it print anything? Let me comment it out for now. No, it will not print anything. Why? Because like whenever we use dot call and dot apply method, it instantly invokes the invokes the function. Like whatever function we are calling, it will instantly invoke the function. But with bind, it will not invoke the function instantly. Instead, what it will do, it will return as a function, right? It will return as a function. So now if I do console.log result, what I'll get inside this function, uh, what I'll get inside this result, I'll get this function. Let's check. Yeah, you can see we are getting the print name. Oh, sorry. We are getting the print name where we have this complete function signature, right? So then how do we invoke that function? Why do we need bind actually? Because bind is not invoking the function right now. Then why do we need bind? Because later on we might want to execute it, right? Let's say we want to perform some task here, then some task here, then some task here, then some task here, and then we want to invoke this function after 4, 5, 10, 100 tasks, then we want to invoke this function. So that's where we can use bind, because whenever we will use call and apply, it will directly invoke the function. But with bind, it will return as a function that we can invoke anytime in our app, right? In our application, in our website. So now let me save it. It will print the same Mahavir 45 MP UK. Mahavir is Mahavir we are getting from this object, and others we are getting from here, the arguments, right? So that's how the binding of that's how call, apply, and bind works, right? There is one more thing. Let me explain you. So let's say I have user one, right? And where I have name a, right? And I have a function print name. where I want to do what this function will basically do. It will simply print what name is this dot name, right? If we are doing this dot name, how we call the function? User dot print name. This is how we call a function, right? So what is going to be value of this? Whatever is before this dot notation, right? That means it will print name is a. You can see name is a. Let's say we have one more user, user 2, right? And user 2 is basically b. Okay, okay, this is due. But now we have print name function. Both function signature is same. Whatever we are doing inside the print name here, same thing we are doing here. So we have we are repeating the code, right? So what we can do, we can remove this code. We can use call bind apply for borrowing also, right? So now I want to say I want to use this print name function, but I want to bind this keyword with this particular user, so that whenever it will print name is, it will refer to this user to dot name. That means this dot name is going to be this b, right? So now it is printing name is a, right? And then how would you print you the name is b? If you will do user to dot print name, it will say print name is not defined, it's not a function, right? Like print name is user to dot print name is not a function, you'll get a type error. So then what you will do, basically what you will say, I told you, right? You can call the function something like this, and then you can do the binding. You can change the context of this keyword. How? We can call the function like you we have user, right? User, I'm simply saying user dot print name, call the function, right? But change the binding. I pass the first argument as the user to. So now it will print name is b, right? So what we are doing here, we are simply borrowing a function, right? Call bind and apply again. Like you can also say like first thing, it changes the context of this keyword. Second thing, like it also use we also use it for the function borrowing, right? So that's all about this topic, guys, and I hope you understand it, you loved it. If you really loved it, please like smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, and definitely I'm going to upload other advanced topics. So please give your love and support to this channel. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome. Bye bye, take care.